Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the Republic of the Philippines and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. Good afternoon. We are gathered here today for the relaunching of the AFP Museum. This event is the result of the dedicated efforts of various units and offices within the AFP, working tirelessly to preserve our nation's rich military history. Today, we celebrate a significant milestone as we proudly reopen the AFP Museum to the public, inviting all to explore and learn from the stories that have shaped our nation. At this juncture, may we request the President to do the honors of officially opening the lights of our new AFP Museum. At the count of three, Mr. President, 1, 2, 3. Ladies and gentlemen, the new AFP Museum. Now, may we invite the President and our other primaries to join Commander Flor-de-Liza T. Villaseñor, Philippine Navy Reservist, the AFP Museum Curator, for the tour of the museum. May we invite our primers for a quick photo opportunity. May we invite our primers for a quick photo opportunity.
Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. Please be seated.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we feel glad to have your presence as we celebrate the 89th founding year of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, another milestone in the annals of the armed forces.
As we look back 89 years ago, the Armed Forces of the Philippines was formally organized on the December 21, 1935, and it was President Manuel Luis Quezon, the first president during the Philippine Commonwealth, who renamed the Philippine Army to Armed Forces of the Philippines. And this is in accordance with the National Defense Act of 1935. On this occasion, we are privileged that we have in our midst as guest of honor and speaker, the President of the Republic of the Philippines and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Arrayed before you on the ground are the contingents in their gala and battle dress attires. In gala attire, we have the Philippine Army, the Philippine Navy, the Philippine Air Force, the Cadet Corps Armed Forces of the Philippines, and the cadets from the Philippine Merchant Marine Academy. In their battle dress attire, we have the AFP Special Operations Forces from the Philippine Army consists of the 1st Scout Ranger Regiment and the Special Forces Regiment Airborne. From the Philippine Navy, the 4th Reconnaissance Group, Naval Special Operations Command, and Marine Battalion Landing Team, and the Philippine Air Force Integrated Air Operations Units.
Ladies and gentlemen, your armed forces protecting the people and securing. Please rise for the presentation of command and honors. Please be seated. The troop commander will now present the troops for inspection.
Mahal na Pangulo, handa na po ang sampana upang libutin.
His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. will inspect the troops to be accompanied by the Chief of Staff, Armed Forces of the Philippines, General Romes Browner Jr. They will be joined by the Troop Commander, Major General Pablo E. Rustria Jr. The tradition of trooping the line, which dates back before the Dorian invasion of mainland Greece in 1200 BC, involves inspecting the condition of soldiers before and after each battle. This ritual emphasizes the mutual respect and connection between the troops and their commander. Today, this tradition is observed by the Armed Forces of the Philippines to symbolize their commitment to both the Filipino people and the defense of the nation. As the Armed Forces of the Philippines celebrates its 89th founding anniversary, it reaffirms its unwavering commitment and dedication to the Republic of the Philippines. This year's theme, AFP at 89, Sandigan and Sambayanan, Tungo sa Bagong Pilipinas, translated as the foundation of the nation on the path to a new Philippines, inspires the men and women of the armed forces to actively participate in nation building through their actions, service, and words. Founded in 1935, the Armed Forces of the Philippines has always been dedicated to protecting the sovereignty of the Philippines. Over the years, its role has expanded beyond traditional warfighting to encompass vital functions such as peace support, peacekeeping operations, and humanitarian assistance. As we look back nearly 9 decades of service, the AFP's legacy is one of honor, courage, and selflessness. From the front lines of battle to the hearts of our communities, the Armed Forces has consistently upheld the values that define the Filipino spirit. The men and women in uniform exemplify what it means to serve with integrity, putting the needs of the nation above all else. Each soldier, sailor, airman, and reservist embodies the profound responsibility they carry in defending not only the physical borders of our country, but also the ideals of freedom, democracy, and justice. Today, it plays an essential part in ensuring national stability and resilience. In recent years, the Armed Forces of the Philippines has embarked on a journey of reform and innovation, aiming to welcome a world-class force by 2028. The AFP Transformation Roadmap focuses on building a military that is not only modern and capable, but also responsive to the evolving nature of warfare. By enhancing operational readiness, improving capabilities, and fostering a culture of excellence, the Armed Forces is positioning itself as a source of national pride. While maintaining its focus on internal security, the AFP is also transitioning to territorial defense, which includes safeguarding of the country's maritime, air, and cyber domains. The AFP's efforts on internal security operations are complemented by community engagement and development, ensuring that the military's presence is both strategic and supportive of the Filipino people's well-being. In line with this, the Armed Forces, together with the Department of National Defense, has operationalized the comprehensive archipelagic defense concept, which initiative ensures that the Philippines can protect and maximize its natural resources, reinforcing its sovereignty over the archipelago. The Armed Forces of the Philippines has reinvigorated its reserve forces, emphasizing the importance of a unified and prepared nation in the face of future uncertainties. Beyond defending the nation, the AFP has also become a trusted partner during times of crisis. Their role as first responders in disaster situations, along with their participation in global peace support and peacekeeping operations, underscores the AFP's deep commitment to the welfare of the people. The Team AFP at 89 Sandigan and Sambayanan, Tungo sa Bagong Pilipinas, encapsulates the Armed Forces' enduring commitment to the Filipino people. It celebrates the military's essential role in fostering peace, security, and prosperity. As we commemorate the AFP's 89th founding anniversary, we honor the soldiers, pilots, and sailors who have dedicated their lives to protecting the Filipino people. Their selfless service serves as an inspiration for every Filipino to contribute to the nation's growth.
Ladies and gentlemen, His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr., President of the Republic of the Philippines and Commander-in-Chief, Armed Forces of the Philippines.
Please remain standing for the honors to the nation.
Tanghal! Pa! Talapanan, pinod mga kawan, kay kamay. Na!
Bayang maging
Kawan, pakamay. Na!
Once again, please remain standing.
Baba! Pa!
Let us implore the presence of the Almighty through the invocation to be officiated by the Most Reverend Bishop Oscar P. Florencio, Doctor of Divinity, Military Ordinariate of the Philippines.
The Phil say, therefore encourage one another and build one another up just as you are doing. Let us pray. O God, all-powerful and merciful Father, in a state of being free in choice and action, we worship you in gratitude. With contrite hearts that are filled with a vision of a world-class armed forces, source of national pride, we call upon you, holy name, to accept our prayers and supplication on this 89th anniversary of the Armed Forces of the Philippines. Now we implore you, O God, to guide us, soldiers, with your divine assistance as we respond to our sacred vocation of protecting the people, securing the state. Make us all a living testament to this year's theme, Sandigan ng Sambayanan, Tungo sa Bagong Pilipinas. In all sincerity, we ask you to continue to bless our sacrifices. Inspire us always with the spirit of core values of honor, service, and in all humility, we ask you, O God, who placed everything in the firm foundation to spare the nation from calamities and disasters, and to resolve emerging threats for the sake of peace and national stability. Finally, we implore your distinct benediction on our guest of honor and speaker, His Excellency President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr., the Commander-in-Chief, Armed Forces of the Philippines. Guide him to know when to proceed with certainty and safety for a future resource-wise policy and resiliency. Increase confidence-building experience in our midst and make us feel happier in our company with each other as we rally with our efforts to uphold the sovereignty of the nation and the well-being of every Filipino people. With your Son, Jesus Christ, and the Holy Spirit, God, forever and ever. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Thank you. The guests may be seated.
May we now invite your attention on the screen as we take the glimpse on the accomplishments of the Armed Forces of the Philippines through an audio-visual presentation.
In every corner of our archipelago, from the highest peaks to the deepest seas, the Armed Forces of the Philippines stand as the unwavering Sandigan ng Sambayanan, the pillar of the nation. Tracing its roots to 1935, the AFP has a rich history of defending our nation. From fighting for our independence during World War II to ensuring peace and security in times of internal conflict, the AFP's journey is one of resilience and transformation. Today, this transformation continues with the AFP Modernization Program, a commitment to enhance our defense capabilities for the modern battlefield. Through enhanced technology, state-of-the-art equipment, and training, we are ready for any challenge, be it territorial defense or internal security operations. Central to this is our interoperability, our ability to work seamlessly across land, air, and sea, as well as alongside international allies. Bilateral exercises with the United States, multilateral training with ASEAN counterparts have fortified the AFP's capabilities, ensuring we are ready for an external threat. But our mission extends beyond defense. When disaster strikes, the AFP is there, ready to lead humanitarian assistance and disaster response operations, from delivering relief during typhoons to conducting rescues during earthquakes. The AFP is at the forefront, rebuilding communities, saving lives. Our partnership with the international community reflects our commitment to regional stability based on the comprehensive archipelagic defense concept. Whether through multilateral defense arrangements with the US, Japan, and Australia, or through ASEAN-led initiatives, the AFP plays a vital role in maintaining peace in the Indo-Pacific region. This cooperation underscores that the defense of our sovereignty is a shared responsibility. As the world evolves, so do we. The AFP's shift from internal security to territorial defense operations marks a new chapter, a testament to our growing capabilities, grounded in our commitment to defend our nation's sovereignty against external threats. With enhanced maritime and air capabilities, the AFP stands ready to protect our territorial integrity. In every crisis, in every mission, whether in times of peace or conflict, disaster response or national defense, the AFP will always be the Sandigan ng Sambayanan. We are the shield that guards our nation's freedom and the strength that our people rely on. Mabuhay ang sandatang lakas ng Pilipinas, Sandigan ng Sambayanan, tungo sa bagong Pilipinas.
A big hand of applause for the Armed Forces of the Philippines.
As we celebrate the 89th founding anniversary of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, the Chief of Staff, Armed Forces of the Philippines, General Romis Browner Jr., will deliver his anniversary message.
His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr., Secretary Gilberto C. Teodoro Jr., other distinguished guests, former Chiefs of Staff of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, Medal for Valor awardees, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Today, as we celebrate the 89th anniversary of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, we reaffirm our commitment to duty, integrity, and loyalty to the nation with unity in purpose. The theme, AFP at 89, Sandigan ng Bayan tungo sa bagong Pilipinas, reminds us of our enduring role as the steadfast foundation of a nation determined to rise above its challenges and march toward progress, peace, and prosperity. In 2024, the AFP continued to fulfill its mandate with solid achievements. In our internal security operations, we delivered decisive victories, declaring multiple provinces insurgency-free and transforming conflict-affected areas into vibrant hubs of opportunity and development. Through localized peace initiatives, we solidified our stand for lasting peace, a peace that empowers every Filipino to thrive in a secure and stable environment. Our pursuit of progress was further propelled by the ongoing AFP modernization program, which brought cutting-edge technologies and advanced assets into our arsenal. These upgrades, including enhanced maritime patrol capabilities and advanced surveillance systems, have significantly bolstered our readiness to address traditional and emerging threats. Equally vital is the critical role of our reserve force, which has proven itself an indispensable partner in national defense and humanitarian missions. Together, we stand as one cohesive force, embodying professionalism and readiness in the face of any challenge. The inclusion of new units such as the AFP Cyber Command and the AFP Intelligence Command highlights our adaptability to contemporary threats and underscores their relevance in ensuring the security and intelligence infrastructure of our nation. In the West Philippine Sea, the AFP has been undaunted in asserting our sovereignty. With modernized tools and strategic international partnerships, we carry on in strengthening our maritime presence, securing our exclusive economic zone, and upholding the principles of international law. This mission goes beyond defending territorial claims. It is about preserving ideals that define us as a nation. At the heart of this effort is the AFP Comprehensive Archipelagic Defense Concept, a visionary strategy that harmonizes our military capabilities with the unique geographic realities of the Philippines, ensuring a robust and sustainable defense of our maritime domain. Beyond territorial defense, our men and women stood at the forefront of humanitarian assistance and disaster response. Despite the devastating impact of 6 typhoons, Christine, Leon, Marce, Nika, Ophel, and Pepito, making landfall in a span of 1 month, the AFP mobilized swiftly to protect lives and rebuild communities. Whether securing our sovereignty or extending a hand in times of need, we remain steadfast in our duty to the flag, the country, and the people. As we look ahead to 2025, we carry forward the values that define the AFP: honor, service, patriotism. We will accelerate the AFP modernization program, ensuring that our armed forces remain capable of safeguarding our nation amidst evolving geopolitical and environmental challenges. From strengthening our territorial defense to enhancing disaster response capabilities, we remain committed to fulfilling our institutional mandate. Equally important, we will continue fostering peace and development in conflict-affected areas. By eliminating internal threats and transforming former battlegrounds into centers of progress, we will help lay the foundation for a more united and prosperous Philippines. This effort is guided by our new campaign plan, Tatag Kapuluan, which envisions a resilient and secure archipelago through synchronized and holistic national efforts. The reconstruction of the Museo ng Sandatang Lakas ng Pilipinas stands as a poignant tribute to the heroism of every soldier, preserving their stories of courage and sacrifice. Within its hallowed walls, the rich military heritage of the Philippines resonates deeply, inspiring future generations to honor their legacy and emulate their valor. To every soldier, sailor, marine, airman, and reservist, your courage, professionalism, and unwavering loyalty inspire the nation. You are the guardians of our sovereignty and the builders of a brighter tomorrow. Let us continue to embody the ideals of integrity and excellence as we work toward a stronger and more capable armed forces. To our friends, partners, and allies, your support has been a cornerstone of our success. Together, we have demonstrated that collaboration and shared commitment can overcome even the most daunting challenges. And to every Filipino, you are the heart of our mission. In these times of change and challenges, unity is our greatest strength. Let us set aside our differences and come together in the spirit of shared purpose. Together, we can have a nation built on integrity, resilience, and hope. Ang inyong sandatang lakas ng Pilipinas ay patuloy na ipagtatanggol ang bayan at magiging sandigan ng ating kinabukasan. Sama-sama nating ipaglaban ang bagong Pilipinas. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you very much to the Chief of Staff, Armed Forces of the Philippines.
From here, we'll witness the presentation of awards. Personnel from the Armed Forces of the Philippines are being recognized for their outstanding contributions to the accomplishment of the Armed Forces of the Philippines mission. Those who have shown exemplary performance, whether in leadership, duty, or support roles, will be acknowledged for their dedication, effort, and the impact they have made on the AFP's goal. Awards will now be presented.
His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. is requested for the awarding to be assisted by Secretary Gilberto C. Chodoro Jr., Department of National Defense, the Chief of Staff, Armed Forces of the Philippines, General Romis Browner Jr., and the Deputy Chief of Staff for Personnel J1, Major General Romel P. Roldan. For acts of conspicuous courage, gallantry, and intrepidity above and beyond the call of duty as the assault platoon leader during an encounter with more or less 150 Abu Sayyaf group in Basilan province on 12 August 2009, which resulted in the neutralization of 10 ASG militants, recovery of 16 high-powered firearms, and rescue of 2 wounded Marines. The Medal of Valor is hereby presented to late First Lieutenant Del Jun C. Evangelista, Officer-14501, Philippine Army. The award will be received by his brother, Mr. Denver C. Evangelista. For exceptional contribution and extraordinary services rendered as member of the rotation and reprovisioning team, or the reprovisioning team, who successfully transported the essential provisions, supplies, and personnel for rotation to BRP Sierra Madre, despite the adversity and dangerous action by the Chinese Coast Guard and Chinese Maritime Militia. The Order of Lapu-Lapu in the rank of Kamagi is hereby presented to Lieutenant Colonel Raymond E. Terrio, Officer-14840, Philippine Navy Marines. For acts of conspicuous courage and gallantry above and beyond the call of duty during an 8-hour gun battle against the Bangsamoro Islamic Freedom Fighters Karialan faction, resulting in the neutralization of 12 enemies and the recovery of numerous high-powered firearms and assorted war materials with high intelligence value. The Distinguished Conduct Star is hereby presented to First Lieutenant John Will C. Uy, Officer-19689, Philippine Army. in his participation as pilot for close air support, resulting in the neutralization of 7 members of the communist terrorist group and 1 wounded, and the recovery of 4 high-powered firearms and other subversive equipment and documents of high intelligence value. The Gold Cross Medal is hereby presented to Major Philip Vincent Roy R. Freire, Officer-17388, Philippine Air Force. For delivering accurate and effective fires, clearing the encounter site against 14 members of the communist terrorist group, which resulted to the neutralization of its 7 members, the recovery of numerous high-powered firearms and assorted war materials with high intelligence value. The Gold Cross Medal is hereby presented to Underwater Operations Man 3rd Class Mark Allen P. Babiera, 891502, Philippine Navy. For the successful conduct of humanitarian assistance and disaster response operations during the occurrence of devastating floods in Davao region, rescuing over 500 families and individuals, and providing necessary assistance to 820 affected families. The Bronze Cross Medal is hereby presented to Staff Sergeant Cardito B. Obatonon Jr., 864457, Philippine Army.
As one of the rescuers during the search, rescue and retrieval operation, rescuing 22 individuals and 6 families stuck in floodwaters caused by uninterrupted precipitation caused by Typhoon Karina. The Bronze Cross Medal is hereby presented to Private First Class Julius M. Legaspi, 966441, Philippine Army. For being adjudged as the Armed Forces of the Philippines Enlisted Personnel of the Year 2024, the plaque of recognition is hereby presented to Master Sergeant Jake P. Belino, 838493, Philippine Air Force. The plaque of recognition for the Armed Forces of the Philippines Civilian Human Resource of the Year 2024, Supervisor category, is hereby presented to Attorney Christine D. Gonzalez, Certified Public Accountant, Civilian Human Resource from the Philippine Navy.
The flag of recognition for the Armed Forces of the Philippines Civilian Human Resource of the Year 2024 Employee category is hereby presented to Ms. Dayan R. Relato, Civilian Human Resource from the Philippine Air Force. The plaque of recognition for the AFP Reserve Officer Training Corps and the Male Cadet of the Year 2024 is hereby presented to Cadet Colonel Almudric M. Francisco, First Class Deputy Corps Commander, Western Mindanao State University. And a plaque of recognition for the AFP Reserve Officer Training Corps Female Cadet of the Year 2024 is hereby presented to Cadet Major Jamaica S. Soriano, First Class Civil Military Operation Officer, PLT College Incorporated.
We shall now proceed with the awarding of the AFP campaign streamers. The AFP campaign streamers are awarded to AFP units to recognize their exceptional performance in accomplishing the missions as set forth in the AFP campaign plans on internal security operations and territorial defense operations. His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. is requested for the conferral of the campaign streamers. He will be assisted by Defense Secretary and the Chief of Staff, Armed Forces of the Philippines. Also to assist, we have the Deputy Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces and the Deputy Chief of Staff for Operations J3, Lieutenant General Jimmy De La Rida, Philippine Navy Marines. The awardees for Internal Security Operations. 1st Infantry Tabak Division, Philippine Army, or the Joint Task Force Zampelan with its commander, Major General Gabriel C. Viray III, Philippine Army, for dismantling the Western Mindanao Regional Party Committee. Ninth 1st Infantry Brigade, 9th Infantry Division, Philippine Army, with its commander, Brigadier General Arsenio D. Sadural, Philippine Army, for dismantling the following units of the Communist Terrorist Group: Sub-Regional Committee Northland, Sub-Regional Centro de Gravidad Northland, Guerrilla Front 21 Sub-Regional Committee Westland, Guerrilla Front 30 Sub-Regional Committee Westland, all under the Northeastern Mindanao Regional Committee.
903rd Infantry Brigade, 9th Infantry Division, Philippine Army, with its commander, Brigadier General Jose Ricky A. Lanyog, Philippine Army, for dismantling 2 vertical units, Sub-Regional Unit Guerrilla, Sub-Regional Committee 3, and Sub-Regional Unit Guerrilla, Sub-Regional Committee 5, both under the Bicol Regional Party Committee. 301st Infantry Brigade, 3rd Infantry Division, Philippine Army, with its commander, Brigadier General Michael G. Samson, Philippine Army, for dismantling 2 guerrilla fronts, Central Front and Southern Panay Front, all of Committing Region Panay.
Second Infantry Brigade, 5th Infantry Division, Philippine Army, with its commander, Brigadier General Eugene M. Mata, Philippine Army, for dismantling the Komiteng Probinsya Cagayan, Komiteng Region Cagayan Valley. Sixth 1st Infantry Brigade, 6th Infantry Division, Philippine Army, with its acting commander, Colonel Ricky P. Bunayog, Philippine Army, for dismantling the local terrorist group, Daula Islamiyah Turaife Group.
For Territorial Defense Operations, the award of Maritime Domain Awareness and Response is conferred to the following: Joint Task Force West, with the Acting Commander, Naval Forces West, Captain Charles Merrick A. Villanueva, Philippine Navy Joint Staff Corps, for upholding the sovereignty and integrity of the Philippines in the West Philippine Sea. Through the conduct of intensified naval and aerial operations, island fortifications, and maritime domain awareness operations to ensure the security and integrity of its joint area of operations, covering a total of sea area 129,367 square nautical miles. Joint Task Force Karagatan with Commander, Naval Forces Northern Luzon Command, or the Northern Luzon, Commodore Edward Ike M. Desagon, Philippine Navy, for addressing security challenges and advancing the objectives of territorial defense operations in Northern Luzon, targeting activities that pose risks to national security, demonstrating a clear understanding of the broader operational landscape. The award of Information Operations and Strategic Communication is also conferred to the following: Naval Forces Central with Commander, Naval Installation Command, Commodore Florante N. Gagua, Philippine Navy, for executing information operations that effectively disseminate key messages on territorial defense operations and encourage active participation among troops and key stakeholders. Tactical Operations Wing, Northern Luzon, with Acting Wing Commander, Tactical Operations Wing, Northern Luzon, Colonel Johnson T. Graida, Philippine Air Force, for executing information operations and strategic communications that effectively counter misinformation and foster community engagement. And Joint Task Force Peacock with its Commander Brigadier General Antonio G. Mangoroban Jr., Philippine Navy Marines, for executing information operations and strategic communications that effectively counter misinformation and enhance public awareness about territorial defense. Well, congratulations to all the awardees. Thank you very much to His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. The guest of honor will now be introduced by Secretary Gilberto C. Chodoro Jr., Department of National Defense.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Thank you to the National Defense Secretary, Secretary Gilbert Chodaro, for his kind introduction. Please take your seats. Troop Commander, you will please give the command of Tikas Pahinga. The members of the Philippine Cabinet present with us here today, the Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, General Romeo Browner Jr., and the major services commanders, the officers, enlisted personnel, and civilian employees of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, my fellow workers in government, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It is my great pleasure to congratulate the men, women, and civilian component of the Armed Forces of the Philippines on your 89th anniversary. The history of the AFP is intertwined with the history of our republic. From your establishment under the National Defense Act of 1935, envisioned by President Manuel Quezon, you have stood as the backbone of our nation's sovereignty. For almost 9 decades now, you have protected the Filipino people, upheld our democracy, proven that even in the most challenging of times, the spirit of service and sacrifice rises above all. You have never wavered in your mission. You have weathered the darkest storms and risen to meet the most pressing challenges of our time. And in doing so, you have earned the enduring respect and admiration of all Filipino citizens. Today, we go beyond celebrating the strength of your arms or the victories that you have won. We are honoring the ideals that you embody, the ideals of honor, service, patriotism. These ideals that are etched into the fabric of the AFP, making you not only guardians of our nation, but also beacons of hope and pride for Filipinos around the world. In recent years, you have shown us what it means to adapt, to evolve, to persevere in the face of change. You have become an agile and responsive force, attuned to the shifting demands of our security landscape. And this is no small feat. For the threats we face today are no longer confined to our shores or to the traditional battlefield. They are now complex, multifaceted, and at times invisible. The geopolitical developments and tensions continue to test our sovereignty and our resolve. The surge in cybersecurity threats, if unchallenged and unaddressed, will challenge our national security. Meanwhile, the pervasive force of misinformation and disinformation undermines the values that we all hold dear, threatening the democracy we have fought so hard to protect. Despite all of these, the AFP has remained steadfast. You have shown that you are a force for peace, a force of progress and solidarity, a partner in building a stronger, more resilient Bagong Pilipinas. As we commemorate your accomplishments, we must look forward to the future that awaits. The modern age demands that we meet these evolving challenges head-on. It calls for an AFP that is grounded in an understanding of its role in a rapidly changing world. This administration is committed to ensuring that you are prepared for that future. Through the Self-Reliant Defense Posture Revitalization Program, we aim to reduce our dependence on foreign sources and empower the AFP to develop its own capabilities. But modernization is not simply about acquiring advanced equipment. It is about transforming the way we think, the way we act, and the way we operate as a unified force. To enhance our capabilities and preparedness, we are harnessing the latest technologies, reinforcing our strategies and enhancing the skills of every soldier, every sailor, every airman. This ensures that we are ready to succeed in the battles on the field, in cyberspace, for the peace of mind of our people. After all, we are building an AFP that can hold its own on the global stage, one that stands shoulder to shoulder with the world's finest armed forces. As your Commander-in-Chief, I encourage you to remain true to the values that have guided this institution for 89 years. Uphold honor in the face of adversity. Lead with the compassion, especially in times of crisis. Inspire with your humanity, for it is your very character that defines the armed forces. Let the AFP emerge as the embodiment of the Filipino spirit, a spirit that stands firm against oppression, adapts to the demands of the time, and always places the welfare of the nation above all else. I am pleased to see the relaunching as well of the AFP Museum. The preservation of our history, of our armed forces, is vital to remember our country's past while keeping our vision of a truly prosperous and secure future. We look to the AFP as defenders of our nation, as examples of courage and integrity. We rely on you to set the standard for patriotism in action. Soldiers who serve not for glory, but for the enduring promise of a better nation. And as we do this, we stand behind you. We will provide the tools, the resources, the support necessary to help you succeed. We will ensure that your sacrifices are met with tangible action. The modernization of our assets, the protection of your family's welfare, and the recognition of your invaluable contributions to our shared future. Kanina lamang ay aking iginawad ang medalya ng kagitingan kay First Lieutenant Del Jun C. Evangelista, o mas kilala bilang Delpot sa kanyang mga kaibigan. Sa kabila ng kanyang batang edad, labis ang sakripisyo at paglilingkod na kanyang ipinamalas upang masiguro ang seguridad ng ating bansa. Maraming salamat sa iyong paglilingkod sa sambayanan at sa lahat ng Pilipino. Ang iyong alaala ay habang buhay na nakaukit sa kasaysayan ng AFP. Itong pasasalamat ay hindi lamang para kay Delpot. Sa ating kasundaluhan, sa bawat sakripisyong inyong binibigay, ang pag-iwan sa inyong mga pamilya upang tugunan ang inyong tungkulin, agpapanatili ng kapayapaan sa gitna ng panganib, ang pag-aalay ng sarili para sa kapakanan ng nakakarami, ipinapaalala ninyo sa amin kung ano ang tunay na kahulugan ng paglilingkod. Bayan muna bago ang sarili. Nasusukat ang inyong galing sa inyong dedikasyon na ipaglaban ang kalayaan, protektahan ang mga walang kalaban-laban at itaguyod ang mga adhikain ng ating bayan. Makakaasang kayong nasa likod ninyo ang sambayanang Pilipino, nagdarasal para sa inyong kaligtasan, nagtitiwala sa inyong kakayahan, at umaasa ng patuloy ninyong isasabuhay ang inyong tungkulin ng may katapatan. Sama-sama nating itaguyod ang pangarap ng bawat Pilipino na makapamuhay sa isang mas maunlad, mas makatarungan, at mas malayang bagong Pilipinas. Maraming salamat sa inyong lahat. Mabuhay kayong lahat. Mabuhay ang Armed Forces of the Philippines. Mabuhay ang bagong Pilipinas.
Thank you very much, His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. Please be seated.
A memento will be presented to the guest of honor and speaker, the President of the Republic of the Philippines. It will be presented by the Chief of Staff, Armed Forces of the Philippines.
The Memento is a 2D wall decor featuring BRP Sierra Madre, a symbol of unwavering resilience. The image of this iconic vessel serves as a powerful representation of strength, perseverance, and the enduring commitment of the AFP, reflecting the same qualities demonstrated by our soldiers. Thank you, sirs.
We shall proceed with the pass in review.
Pasamasid.
Kalpunan, sa malikod ko. Sa kanang balikat. Ha!
Sa kanang balikat. Ha!
Talu-talupad, unang talupad. Pasulong. Kad!
Ladies and gentlemen, let us now ponder on this year's anniversary theme, AFP at 89, Sandigan ng Sambayanan, tungo sa bagong Pilipinas. Truly, the armed forces could always be counted on by the nation and its people. It has demonstrated its solemn vow and devotion to duty as protector of the people and the state, contributing in its share in unity with the nation towards a peaceful, steadfast, resilient, and progressive Philippines.
Let us now witness the parade of the various contingents of the Armed Forces of the Philippines. Ang mga makabagong katipunero, makadiyos, makakalikasan, makatao, at makabansa. Leading the parading contingent is Major General Pablo Rustia Jr., Philippine Air Force. Its staff, Colonels Amer Adviento and Anselmo T. II of the Air Force, Ben Domingo III and J. Bisco of the Army, and Captains Jonathan Salvilla and Tirso Binasoy of the Navy.
Following is the Armed Forces of the Philippines Composite Band under the baton of Master Sergeant Donnie Isip, Philippine Air Force.
The 1st Brigade is headed by Brigadier General Erwin Alea, Army. His staff, Commanders Rodel Mojica and Edmund Añasco of the Navy. Lieutenant Colonels Jonathan Esnara, Army. Marson Asis and Emerson Bermeo of the Air Force.
Following is the contingent from the Philippine Army represented by the Security and Escort Battalion under Lieutenant Colonel Wilbert Basquinas, his staff, Major Edgar Macabingil, Captains Dennis Ayungo, Jonald Ramos, and Kevin Abad. The Army has been a beacon of hope and progress. It has contributed to strengthening Filipino institutions, communities, and individuals by advocating personal governance and by rebuilding itself into an organization loved by the people.
Next, we have the contingent from the Philippine Navy, headed by Commander Nolan Tigaronita. His staff, Lieutenant Commanders Alejandro Baleres, Manuel Ubis, and the Dominador Merida Jr., and Commander Ivan Mendoza. The Philippine Navy is the protector of the Philippine seas and the first line of defense to uphold the territorial integrity.
Following next, the contingent from the Philippine Air Force led by Lieutenant Colonel Leoncio Sirunay. His staff, Majors Elpidio Salinas Jr., John Carlo Olaso, Ramon Christopher Engay, and Alan Carandang. The Philippine Air Force is tagged as the angel of mercy and the guardian of the Philippine skies, primarily tasked to secure our country's airspace as a forward defense shield.
Before us now, from the prestigious Philippine Military Academy, the Cadet Corps Armed Forces of the Philippines, led by Cadet First Class Roncher Bernabe. His staff, Victoriano Ayinza Jr., Marieto Caduyak III, Jamie Ramirez, and Adrich Remigio. These young male and female cadets are the future leaders of the Armed Forces of the Philippines from the different regions of the archipelago. They are trained and guided by the tradition of excellence, espousing the values of courage, integrity, and loyalty.
The audience is requested to rise for the passing of the national colors. Thank you. Please be seated. Color officer is First Class Vince Romil Cavalida. The 2nd Brigade is under the command of Commodore Emilio Orio Jr. of the Navy. His staff, Lieutenant Colonels Hermelito Tusi Jr., Navy Marines, Joseph Bitancor, Air Force, and Romel Tagubuan and Edwin Mirador of the Army, and Malbert Makiling, Air Force.
The 1st Battalion is comprised of the cadets from the Philippine Merchant Marine Academy, led by Midshipman First Class Christian Judco. His staff, Midshipman First Class Kent Rogel Soloberes, Ariel Vince Gazme, Garil Von Flores, Dane Michael Calpito, and John Rico Rayanda. Philippine Merchant Marine Academy, or PMMA, the pioneer institution of the Philippine maritime education. It served as an active source of commissionship by the Philippine Navy, with their graduates becoming high qualified, competent, and moral upright Navy officers.
Following next is the Special Operations Forces of the Philippine Army led by Lieutenant Colonel Anthony Macatual, his staff, Majors Felicor Humagdao, Kina Agonia, Captains Rogen Rodriguez and Arnold Valdez. These units, the Special Forces Regiment Airborne and 1st Scout Ranger Regiment, specialize in unconventional warfare and small unit operations.
This time we have the Special Operations Forces of the Philippine Navy headed by Commander Joey Plant. His staff, Majors Joey Brian Otgalon, Lieutenant Commanders Kim Aldrin Bulaga, and Gilen Leonida. The contingent is composed of the Naval Special Operations Command, Force Reconnaissance Group, and the Marine Battalion Landing Team, capable of conducting maritime special operations, counterterrorism, naval explosive ordnance and disposal operations, and deep-sea diving operations. Before you now, the proud members of the Philippine Air Force Integrated Air Operations Units, led by Lieutenant Colonel Reden Apepe, his staff, Majors Romel Rabot, Henry Allen Galvan, Orlando Paala Jr., and Mark Anthony Cuevas. This contingent consists of the Air Defense Command, the 5th Fighter Wing, the 960th Air Missile Defense, the 930th Cyberspace Electronic Warfare Wing, the 300th Air Intelligence Wing, 15th Strike Wing, the 250th Presidential Airlift Wing, the 505th Search and Rescue Group, and the 7th Special Operations Wing. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you have just seen a segment of your armed forces passed before you. These soldiers represent every airman, sailor, the Marine, and the foot soldier out there in the field, defending our country from all those who wish to destroy the peace, take away your freedom, and stunt our country's development. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, a big hand for the Armed Forces of the Philippines. The Troop Commander, Major General Pablo Irustria Jr., Philippine Air Force, will report the termination of the ceremony.
Pinuno. Ho! Mahal na Pangulo, tapos na po ang parangal. Kalipunan, harap sa kanan. Rap.
How about a big hand for the Troop Commander and his staff? Well, with that, dito po nagtatapos ang ating pagdiriwang ng ika-89 na taong anibersaryo ng ating sandatahang lakas ng Pilipinas. Well, we would like to thank once again President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. for gracing the anniversary celebration of the Armed Forces of the Philippines. Well, at the moment, we're having a photo opportunity with His Excellency